Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Call me Mr. Tibbs.
Bazinga!
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Hang on. I keep forgetting I'm alone in the studio and don't need to wear the mask. Except for the cats, I'm the only person in the building, and you're watching on your phone, desktop, Roku, Echo, Crapple product, or other favorite streaming device, so you're safe from me. I am once again Michael Menza, the mad expert on all things entertainment, and this week's Real Review brings you Christopher Nolan's Tenet. Quick thank you to the dynamic Ronnie for coming up with the moniker Mad Expert. We're going to use it ad nauseum going forward. I'm splitting this one up into two parts. Now that movie theaters have opened up in phase 3 or 4 of pandemic recovery, I'm going to start with relating the new movie-going experience. In the current climate of physical distancing, it is important to provide proper mask protocol, plus purifying points of potential proximity to prevent prompt passing of precarious pathogens person to person. It's paramount to public peacefulness. Pause. Yes, I said the word pause. For my first foray into reopened movie theaters, I chose a local Regal cinema, and I was frankly impressed at the precautions taken. To reduce physical contact as much as possible, the box office was not open. You are instead urged to purchase your tickets online, which I had done. But in the event that you have still not joined the 21st century, tickets were available at the concession stand. There were the usual floor markings to inform you of minimum distance. The concession stand itself had a metal gate placed in front of the register to ensure you stayed away from contact surfaces. Plus, the plexiglass barrier that is becoming the pandemic reminder symbol of safety. The staff was wearing masks, of course, and sanitizing their hands between each transaction. Despite the extra requirements, they were cheerful and informative, answering my questions about safety protocol that I'm sure they must have been asked ad infinitum. The young ladies I spoke with told me that they sanitized their hands before and after each transaction. They placed my drink on the counter, scanned my rewards card through the plexiglass, processed the entire transaction with almost no direct contact. The ticket taker, an antiquated misnomer since most places have stopped taking tickets, scanned my virtual ticket at arm's length with zero contact. On the whole, less human interaction than a typical grocery store run. Before getting there, when I was purchasing tickets online, and I'll use the Fandango app or my Regal app, depending on which one currently has more rewards, the section for reserving a seat informed me that certain seats are unavailable to maintain necessary distancing. I was shown a chart similar to this one. I'm guessing that closing off purchase of half the seats in every theater might affect box office statistics for this year. But then again, everything is going to have a 2020 asterisk when calculating data. The entire experience was not unpleasant and completely reassuring. Now, on to the movie. As always, the mad expert, me, is going to tell you the good, the bad, and the rest. Tenet. It's a word that means any principle or doctrine, especially one held as true by members of a group. It's used in this film as the name of a secret organization, and it's also a palindrome. Reads the same forward and backward, and don't think, Nolan, that I didn't notice in a film about being able to move forward and backward through time, you chose that title purposely. The good. I'm going to start with a quick mention of one of my all-time favorite actors who has proven his value as leading man, character actor, villain, and Christopher Nolan staple. Michael Caine shows up briefly playing the aging, knighted Sir Michael Crosby, which got me wondering if he himself had been knighted. I looked it up, and yes, Sir Maurice Joseph Micklewhite, Caine's real name, was knighted 20 years ago. Go, Sir Michael Maurice Joseph Jacob Jingleheimer, whatever. Next, John David Washington is outstanding in this film, showing us that Denzel's son can effectively carry an action film. He plays the super spy known only as the protagonist throughout the film and in the credits. He's a nameless cipher that is likely what a true super spy should be. Early on, we are greeted with the villain, a typical spy movie homicidal megalomaniac out to do what megalomaniacs do. Kenneth Branagh, another outstanding talent that can play leading man, character actor, and villain so well he never overlaps a performance. Here, he is the above-mentioned maniac Andre Sator, played with the necessary psychopathy and an oddly sympathetic story arc. Elizabeth Debicki, his long-suffering wife, Kat, undergoes some self-searching sacrifices and a very satisfying character conversion. But the real surprise here is the former 480-year-old Twilight vampire Robert Pattinson, as Neil, the protagonist's partner in the plot. Pattinson has suffered the unfortunate typecasting hell in his career that forever leaves him underrated as an actor. I myself have fallen victim to, oh, I hate this guy. Can't take him seriously after that mess. I'm pleased to say I was wrong, and any doubt Batman fans have about his ability to play Bruce Wayne or the Caped Crusader in the upcoming film The Batman should be laid to rest after seeing this performance. I mean, the guy knows how to wear a suit and can convincingly carry an action sequence. As long as COVID-19 doesn't end his career, I'm looking forward to his next film. The bad. If you've seen a Christopher Nolan movie, you know they can be confusing and often need multiple viewings to comprehend in any way, shape, or form. Not as bad as Guy Ritchie, but one character outright says, don't try to understand it, feel it. The main plot is lifted right out of a typical James Bond film. Recognizable elements all around. Predictable characters that we've seen before so many times. Typical scenarios and confrontations between hero and villain, complete with fancy parties, multi-millionaire miscreants, secret agents, enigmatic administrators, exotic locales, car chases, explosions, etc. Blah, blah. Listen, I learned Nolan is a longtime Bond aficionado. That explains why. Seriously, Eon Productions, what are you waiting for? Hire this guy to direct a Bond film. You won't be disappointed. To spice up the formulaic plot, Nolan inserts the following subplot. This is a minor spoiler, but if you have read anything about this film, you know it deals with time travel. So I'm only spoiling it for those of you that only read the title and don't tell me anything about the movie, which I find a really stupid way to pick a movie. It's not so much about time travel as the ability to move objects, actions, and even people backwards through time. This concept has been kicked around by quantum physicists for some time now. You see, the second law of thermodynamics states that entropy, a measure of disorder, never decreases in an isolated system. Glass shatters, cream disperses in coffee, eggs scramble, but never the reverse. This is why heat always moves from hot to cold. Doing so increases the overall entropy. The law is so fundamental to our physical reality, some physicists believe it is responsible for the apparent flow of time. Yet, okay, I'm sorry about all the wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff, but they never give us a truly understandable explanation of how the phenomenon works. And fuck you, Christopher Nolan, for making me do homework and looking it up. The concept is confusing enough on its own to a geek/nerd like me that to the casual layman and casual moviegoer, it gets downright baffling. I give credit to Nolan's ability to present us with mind-blowing visuals that bend the real world to his will and appear to do so with plausible explanations. But there's no way that you're going to conceptualize this plot, this subplot, in one sitting. Makes the action scenes a little confusing, and despite the visual awesomeness, frankly left me flummoxed. I've seen more time travel movies than I can name. This one, in an attempt to trump them all, bogs itself down with too many paradoxes and things that just don't seem to be able to resolve themselves. Oddly, the instrument that is supposed to be the catalyst of reverse entropy looks less like a futuristic quantum physics device and more like the camshaft of a classic Chevy circa 1960 to 1970. The rest. The score is good for the most part, but the incessant percussion, that's fine for accenting action scenes and explosions, doesn't let up for the dialogue scenes. I found myself having trouble hearing and understanding some of what was being said. A lot of what was being said. Don't get me wrong, I'm a Nolan fan and enjoy much of what he's done. But this brings me to my final rating. On a scale of wait for it to reach broadcast TV to go see it in IMAX, I rate this one wait for a streaming service to carry it. Unless you want to spend a few extra bucks to watch it more than once in theaters. If you're a hardcore Nolan fan and a quantum physics professor, you'll enjoy this the first time around. But for most of us, it's going to require even more viewings than Inception did to follow the subplot with any coherence. One character says it best. All I have for you is a word. Tenet. It'll open the right doors. Some of the wrong ones, too. I am your mad expert, Michael Menza, for Real Reviews. Don't forget to subscribe. Especially remember, click the bell icon. This way you will get alerts when the next Real Review drops. Thank you. Yes, I know. I'm in my house. I don't need the mask. I wear it when I go out. I know the rules.